Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the forest. My name is Fleza, and it's great to have you back here. Uh, so what do we have in store for today? Well, if you've clicked on the video, you already know, but we're going to be doing some art here. And for me, I am not the greatest artist in the world. So my art is a little bit different. And holy crap, sorry about that. My chair just made a lot of noise. My art is not the pictorial, I guess you could say, in the same sense that you might see other artists online here, making videos or streaming, their art. My art is, well, it's words. I feel, personally at least, that I have a better way of making art. Well, yeah, let's just say art with words rather than, lines and colors. So we're going to be doing a little bit of writing today, and you'll get to see some of my process for how I do things, and how, and I guess I'll include some of my own personal kind of tips and tricks on what to do. I'm going to be writing something brand new for you guys, specifically today. So I think that's it. I think that's all the introduction I have for this particular stream. So let's hop over to the screen, and I'll show you well, a blank canvas to start. All right, so welcome to our blank canvas here. I have some background music. Hopefully it isn't too loud. I did some sampling before making this particular video, and it sounded good to me. So hopefully I'm not overpowered in a longer format than my tests. So yeah, we're going very we're very simple here. We're just going to be using Google Docs here as our canvas for this project, and golly, I don't really know what else to say. You can see, like I said, we have a blank canvas here. We're using Arial font here, 12 point. We won't bold anything, I think. Let's change our. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. I just want indent a little bit. Yeah, we'll make things nice and neat. But yeah, we're using just good old Google Docs here. So what are we going to write here today? Well, I was thinking about some of my other projects that I'm working on. I would really love to, write some of those for you down the line. But I think, starting today, kind of to see how I go about the process of writing. I guess that's the best way to put it. How I go about the process of writing is to start from scratch. So, actually, excuse me, I have an idea for what this particular story is. So let me show you the title. It is going to be called, this one is going to be called The Builders, The Builders of Life. Now, what is this story about? Now, for me, what I like to do when I'm creating a story is I like to make a little outline of what the story is going to be about. Now, I happen to know that this, because I have already selected this, this is actually going to be, we'll call it the backstory of a backstory for one of my D&D characters that I have and I play with a group of companions. Now, there's a lot of details that we're gonna kind of make up with this story, but we're going to use a number of details, several details that to put it wow, I'm having trouble expressing my thoughts here. Okay, let me try this entire statement over again. We are going to utilize elements of campaign settings officially created by Wizards of the Coast for some of our more setting details right now. Because, like I said, this is a backstory for one of my D&D characters. Well, the D&D character in question is actually playing in a Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign. If you don't know what that is, go ahead and do some research, and I encourage you, if you don't already, give Dungeons and Dragons a try. It's actually quite fun. RPG, and you get to work, you get to play with other people, and be kind to other people if you do play. Don't try and hog the spotlight and all those kinds of things. But anyway, we're going for a backstory of my character. So really it's about the two characters, these other two characters, and I don't know if we'll get to necessarily the end of this particular story during this stream. Actually, I would say we probably won't, but but eventually, when we get to the end of this story I've titled The Builders of Life here, you'll kind of see maybe just who my character is in the story. So, also, I guess a point of clarification, this is not necessarily something I'm going to submit to the dungeon master of my D&D game as like, well, this is what happened because we wrote it. No, this is just a kind of sample piece, I guess you could call it. So we have this story called The Builders of Life. So what is it about? Like I said, I like to write an outline, kind of. And what this outline is supposed to do is get the very, very basics of what the story is about and things that I want to have happen. Now, for me at least, when I write an outline, it could be for the entirety of the story, or it could be for like a chapter or two of the story. This particular outline, because we're starting from the scratch here, I think we're going to do an entire outline, and then we'll kind of break it down in the future into mini outlines for each chapter. I think that's the best way to go about this. Okay, so The Builders of Life is about two we'll call them two geniuses, because that's actually the term that I used in the backstory of my own character. Two genius inventors who work at the we're gonna include the D&D location here. It's called the House of Inspired Cans. And this is the story of how these inventors fell from grace actually, I guess we'll... So the romance. Now, I'm not necessarily the best at romance, so the romance element of this could be quite janky, to say the least. Romance between the pair. They fall from grace at the temple. It will cover the struggle to survive and then it will go to they create life. I think that's what that's all it needs to be. Like I said, I just like to make an outline And this outline doesn't have to be super complicated or have, you know, a particular, you know, it doesn't have to have, you know, the fine details of what's going to happen here. This is just an overarching outline of the entire thing here. So let's go into probably what will end up being like maybe the first few chapters, maybe like two or three perhaps chapters that's hitting this first, you know, thing. Who are these genius inventors who work at the House of Inspired Hands? We're just going to call this first one chapter 1 right now. Now what do we want to do here in chapter 1? Well, we want to set the scene. What is the House of Inspired Hands? Who is... I will give you a preview as to who these characters, what these characters' names are. So the first one is going to be Pixie. And the second one is going to be shoot, how did I spell his name? Hold on one moment. Details. Okay, that's how I spelled his name. Urgard. Okay, I think that's a good... This is definitely, yeah, like I said, this is the outline of this first chapter here. The House of Inspired Hands sat at the in the Sea Lord of Waterdeep. Close to... Now, if any of you are like super like D&D lore nerds here, I'm about to crush all the enthusiasm like you probably have, because I'm going to make some stuff up. Because that's what you can do when you write. It's kind of like the same when you draw, really. You know, you're making something up. You know, just instead of lines on a paper or a canvas, you know, or a tablet, you know, we're just creating words in this case. So seaward of Waterdeep, close to the edge of the markets, of the central markets. I think that's a very important distinction to make here, because there could be, you know, various little markets here and there, but this is like the edge of the central markets, kind of this central hub of 3-4 districts here. The Seaward is a district of Waterdeep, basically. This city. It was a vast temple devoted to, I can't even remember who the temple is supposedly devoted to. So we're probably going to put a placeholder name in until I go and do some research and maybe put in the actual D&D lore name. Let's put a temporary name in. The Crafter. Or no. Let's bold this. Crafter God. Because we don't remember what the particular name of that god is, or goddess. So we'll just put Crafter God in as a placeholder for now. Crafter God, the deity of crafters and inventors. There, those who worked in the temple not only conducted clerical duties such as healing wounded or sick persons. Clerical duties, such as healing wounded or sick persons. Because providing examples of what clerical duties are could be removed from the sentence, and it would still make sense. Such as healing wounded or sick persons, but also worked towards crafting new and innovative ideas. Innovating ideas and no, they don't craft. They, like, if it's not so much they craft ideas. They craft new and innovative devices and gadgets that devices and gadgets that would how should we describe these innovative ideas or devices and gadgets? They are things that would not confuse, because they want to make useful things there, but they also push kind of research into different things. That means that but work towards crafting new and innovative devices and gadgets that would I just do a little stretch of my neck there. New and innovative devices and gadgets that would improve quality of life for people, or should we say that would improve quality of life or be useful for adventurers? I guess we could put it that way. That would improve the average person's quality of life or be useful to adventurers. I guess technically they would be useful to, militaries as well, and governments. Let's just go with adventurers, though, for now. it was here that aspiring young inventors would also flock to in order to study under sages in smithing and blacksmithing. In blacksmithing, in leatherworking, perhaps we should call them young crafters, not inventors. Crafters also flock to in order to study under sages and blacks, things like fields. Under sages in fields such as blacksmithing, leatherworking, and art artificing. If you don't know what artificing is, it's basically it's a combination of like tinkering and magic. It's infusing. Excuse me, I'm rubbing my eyes here. It's been another long day while out on Ranger Patrol. Is the infusion of arcane magics, well, I guess magics in general, into, crafted devices, basically. I think it is a common, if you're like making magical items, basically, it's what artificing is. It was among the master artificers that now, while each field at the House of Inspired Hands, while each field at the House of Inspired. Okay. Yes, there are often lots of typos as I write, but that's what you go for back. That's what you go back and edit for down the line. While each field at the House of Inspired Hands was important in its own way, the artificers were the most lauded at the temple. Pixie, Pixie Thunderspark. Pixie Thunderspark was... Actually, this should be included in the previous paragraph. Pixie Thunderspark was perhaps the most celebrated yet arguably was the most secluded artificer one of the most secluded artificers at the temple. Pixie preferred to remain alone. To remain alone with her thoughts. Working them out into the devices that brought fame to the house. To see her roaming the halls of the temple was said to be impossible, since she supposedly never left her workshop. The most secluded of artificers at the temple. It was a baseless rumor. As she did leave her workshop once a week. Once a 10-day to have a proper meal and to bathe. So a 10-day is a week in at least Waterdeep. I believe it's in the entirety of D&D, but minor detail right now. That's why we're not going to bother to explain it. Plus, 10-day kind of speaks for itself what it is. It's 10 days. She would interact very little with others during this time. No time outside her workshop. While many at the temple tended to look down on Pixie, as she was often exempted from both clerical and teaching duties. They tended to look down on her. I don't think. No, this sentence does not go here. There were many at the temple. There were many at the temple that tended to look down on Pixie. She's off in teaching duties while they were not. While they were not, she had it. Does she care about their thoughts? No, she doesn't really care about their thoughts because her only passion is inventing. Actually, she's not a cleric. She was exempted from teaching, so she's often exempted from teaching duties. She is if we were to give her a Dungeons and Dragons class, she's an artificer herself. So she would not be doing clerical duties necessarily. Hmm. She ignored the grumblings around her. If the heads I think we're going to make up a term here to describe who leads this temple. Technomancer already a thing? No, well, I'm sure it is somewhere, but I'm not going to use it in this context. If the heads... Is there one or are there multiple? I think... No, I think there's more than one. As the... If the headboard if the board, let's just call it the board for now. Approved of Pixie's work. Then she was not. Now I really part of the less formal, I guess you would say, part of me definitely wants to make that wasn't. But we're crafting something in the hopes that maybe someday it might be published. Actually, maybe not this one specifically, but that's something you should take into consideration when you're writing. You know, I guess unless maybe it's a fan fiction, which I have thoughts about fan fiction. I guess you could say this reinterpretation of Dungeons and Dragons is a work of fan fiction. Hang on 1 second. Let's... I think it's a little better. I was having issues, like... So, my camera here that records me, it has a light with 3 settings, like low, well, I guess 4. There's off, there's low, medium, and then bright light. And bright light is obviously a little too much, so I had it on medium, but I guess that was just a little too bright today, so I just changed it to low. We'll see if I can actually look at the camera without feeling blinded. Gosh, already writing. We've been writing, but haven't really made a lot of progress for, you know, a long time. That's actually something that I know I said this is not just going to be writing necessarily. This is also going to be, you know, my insights on writing, tips, tricks, and whatnot. So that's something you have to remember when you're writing, is it's not just gonna be, you know, you're not gonna make money off of it right away necessarily. You may have to risk, you know, never getting any money for it, but you know, sounds terrible, but it is what it is, kind of thing. You should write if you are so inclined to do so. But, you know, don't necessarily quit your day job in the meantime. Because, you know, money is not going to start overnight from a book that you write. Yeah. Can you tell that maybe I've tried that? That's why I had to go back to rangering. Anyway, okay. If the board approved of Pixie's work, then she was not going to complain, as they were the ones that exempted her, and through large quantities of she's not gonna, and through large quantities of gold at her projects. Pixie was an average girl. Actually, an average, I should know, she's a gnome. Gnomish girl for her age otherwise. So we've established that she's really smart. She's a recluse. She's not particularly well liked. But she gets kind of what she deserves. Because she's not well liked by her peers, she's isolated and kind of alone. But she is lauded by her superiors. Not that she really cares. I don't think we've really kind of established that she doesn't really care what her superiors think, but we'll get to that eventually. She was not going to complain. It was like, what is to complain? As they were the ones who exempted her and threw large quantities of gold at her projects. She was an average gnomish girl for her age otherwise. Still, with over a century to live. Well, okay. Still with over a century to live. She kept her hair pulled back. Pulled back tightly into an unobstructive ponytail. Obstructive. An unobstructive ponytail. Oh gosh. Okay. She frequently had a not type tonight apparently. She frequently had a pair of goggles over her eyes to shield their what color should her eyes be? My first thought was pink. To shield the vibrantly pink irises within. She's got pink eyes. She keeps her hair in a ponytail. Grease and soot stains on her tunic. And pants. Marked her as an active inventor, which kind of we already know, but sometimes you gotta reiterate things. Her short stature her short gnomish stature gnomish stature, she short, no, her short gnomish stature left any thinking she was a cute child instead of a middle-aged woman. Okay. Oh. Let's show you. The text that we just wrote. Okay. So, wow. We don't have a lot. It's only like 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs so far. But that's a good place to start, you know. So I think it doesn't seem like much because we did do some, you know, I explained a few things to you guys here in this video. But I think that's going to be all for this particular video. And we'll pick up this again, you know, doing this again. Let me go back to the forest here. Okay, I think let's do that. Okay. Bum. Okay. So yeah. That's going to be everything for today. Next we'll do some more writing again at another time. I may do some off camera here and you know to move things along here, and we'll have some more discussions at a later time about, you know, my process and such things. But yeah, thank you for coming today. It's a pretty kind of laid back stream or video, I guess, compared to some of my others. We are going to hopefully, gotta make sure I can get it working, be playing some Mario Kart tomorrow on our live stream. It's going to be Friday. We're going to have some fun playing some Mario Kart. We'll probably only be doing it as gosh, what am I, single player? Yes, that's what I wanted to say. We'll probably only be playing in single player Mario Kart, just because right now we don't have really an audience to play with. Potentially, I'm not necessarily the best at playing Mario Kart either, so you know, it is what it is. But we're gonna play, so we'll play some Mario Kart, I think. And I kind of looking forward to getting that going. It should be exciting, I hope. I really hope it is exciting. So, yeah. Take care as you leave the forest, and we'll see you tomorrow for the live stream. Oh my gosh. We'll have some fun. Alright, bye everybody. Later.